Unbiased, fan-friendly Syracuse sports coverage on WSKO Syracuse. A Cumulus media station, the voice of the Central New York sports fan, The Score, 1260. Welcome to your home for local sports in Syracuse. Outside the Box Score with Mark Rowlands starts right now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. We've got Braylon Edwards in the house. We've got Josh Boehm as well. Gentlemen, how are we doing this morning?
Doing good, thanks.
Oh, Noble. Yeah, I don't know.
Braylon Edwards?
Yeah, I don't know why I just said that. I've said Noble in the past, and it just is there a Braylon Edwards?
Wide receiver.
Yeah, wide receiver. Yeah, that's oh my God, that's what.
Identity now.
Yeah, you could just say you're Braylon Edwards. Yeah.
I didn't know his last name, so I was like, oh, yeah. Braylon
Yeah,
Edwards.
totally just slip of the tongue there. Braylon Noble. Jeez. But Braylon Noble, Josh Boehm, and big day today in the city of Syracuse because finally, after 2 weeks of exhibition games, Syracuse football is actually going to play today.
First test.
First real test. They've got Purdue at Purdue, 7:30 on NBC tonight. And I was just doing a little research about this Purdue team. And I know, obviously, they lose to Fresno State in the first week of the season. And it's like, oh, boy, another easy game for Syracuse. They go out, they beat Virginia Tech last week. So back-to-back ACC opponents for for Purdue this season. And I know this team isn't that impressive so far. It was a 24-17 victory over Virginia Tech and a 39-35 loss against Fresno State. This is easily the biggest game of the year for Syracuse, and we still don't know anything about the Syracuse team until the game tonight.
You're scared, and you should be.
I am kind of scared.
This is a big atmosphere for Syracuse football. I think, Syracuse fans were used to basketball and being able to rely on good teams, and you don't really have to worry about this. Not in recent years of basketball, but generally speaking, you always have a level of confidence in the program and the students. Or whatever. Football is different. Football's not even after last year. Last year was a great year, even though it ended whatever.
No, last year was a good year. They started 6-0.
They had if they beat Clemson, it'd be a great year.
Yes.
Okay.
If they beat Clemson, it would have been a really, really good, if not great year. They still finished below 500. They lost the bowl game to go 6-7. If we're considering that a great year, that's what the problem is with Syracuse football. Good point. We look at that and say, oh, what a year for Syracuse. No, we won 6 straight games, and that's great. Then we lost 7 in a row. That's not great.
True. But this has a chance.
Promising.
Yes, it was a very
worse before.
Yeah. Oh, it's been much worse. I mean, people forget that Dino won 1 game that 1 year. They went like 1-10 or whatever it was in the COVID season. But I am kind of scared because Purdue is a team, and Josh and I were just talking about this before the show. They love to play spoiler, and they'll play spoiler in week 2. They'll play spoiler in week 6. They'll play spoiler in week 12. This is a program that a couple of years ago had a really down year, beat Notre Dame when the Irish had national championship hopes. There's just something about Purdue. I don't know what it is. And I know SU beat them big last year at the Dome. Or I shouldn't say beat them big. Beat them in a big game. It was
ESPN, right?
Yeah, on ESPN. I believe it was a 1-score game. That was the Garrett Schrader game winner to, I want to say it was Rondé Gadsden.
Sounds right.
And so SU beat them last year in the Dome. At Purdue, 7:30, primetime, NBC.
I see what you're saying. Let's pump the brakes, though. Can we spoil a Syracuse season? Could Purdue spoil the season for a Syracuse? We're talking Notre Dame. It spoiled some big opponents. Is it the same if you lose to Purdue as Syracuse?
Well,
you see what I'm trying to get at?
I see what you're getting at, but
are we big enough to be spoiled? Is Syracuse that big?
Yes and no. So, spoiler, obviously, Purdue isn't trying to spoil our national championship hopes.
Sure.
And I'm sure Purdue isn't going into this game with the same mentality they did against Notre Dame. Like, hey, let's knock down a Titan.
Yep.
But Syracuse is coming off of a 65-0 and a 48-7 victory. One of the most high-flying. I saw they're one of two teams, which obviously this early in the season, this statistic doesn't matter at all.
Can't wait.
But they're one of two teams in the country
Yep.
with a top 10 scoring offense and a top 10 defense in terms of limiting points.
Who's the other team?
Oklahoma.
Okay. Didn't they win 72-0 week one?
Yeah. Well, Syracuse won
Right,
65-0.
No, yeah,
Like,
I got you.
So obviously this early in the season, that statistic doesn't matter because they've played Colgate and Western Michigan, and Oklahoma played who knows?
Arkansas State.
Yeah,
and
Arkansas
so-
State and who knows?
Yeah.
So obviously take it with a grain of salt, but this is a team right now that is showing to have a high-flying offense that can score a lot of points in a hurry. A defense that, granted, like I said, Colgate and Western Michigan, they've allowed 7 points in 8 quarters of football.
Pretty good no matter who you're up against.
Exactly. These are all Division I athletes. These are all Division I college football players. 7 points in 2 games is impressive nonetheless. I just think Purdue could. I've just got a feeling that, and like I said, they're not playing spoiler for a national championship contender. But what they are doing is spoiling a potentially 4-0 start because Syracuse has Army the week following Purdue. And I've said the entire time, armed service academies don't play real football. Who knows how that's going to go?
I think they threw the ball 3 times yesterday.
Yeah.
Army played yesterday. I believe he had 3 passes.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want to test the Syracuse run defense, just wait until week 4 when Army runs the ball 72 times.
You are right. I mean, they could spoil. Syracuse should be a legitimate ACC contender for the football. Outside of Clemson and Duke, they're probably right up there, right?
North Carolina and Florida State.
Yeah. Oh, Florida State.
Yeah.
Florida State's huge.
Actually, Clemson isn't even ranked right now. UNC and Florida State and Duke are the 3 ranked teams in the ACC.
I mean, it's kind of an open gate there after Florida State. Florida State should be really good, I guess. But I mean, who knows?
You're fighting. You know, this is going to be a fight because after Army, let's say Syracuse does start out 4-0.
Yep.
That's when you got Clemson, UNC, Florida State back to back to back.
Aren't 2 of those in the Dome? Or all?
One of them is.
One of them.
Clemson's at the Dome.
Okay.
Which,
oh yeah,
for whatever reason,
yeah,
Syracuse always plays Clemson tough. And when Trevor Lawrence was there, when Deshaun Watson was there, we beat Clemson with Deshaun Watson at quarterback.
Oh yeah.
We always play them tough. So especially at the Dome, that'll be a fun one. No game times determined for all 3 of those, by the way.
Maybe a little flex option is what you're saying.
Flex option for all 3 of those. And currently, SU does have 2 more primetime games coming up. Virginia Tech on Thursday the 26th. So a Thursday night game.
Yep.
That's at 7:30 on ESPN. And then the following Friday, against Boston College here at the Dome, that's a 7:30 p.m. start on ESPN2. So for Syracuse to start the season with 3 primetime games on the schedule is already impressive. Because why would they? I mean, honestly, how many primetime games does Syracuse have per season the past few years? I think one of them got flexed last year. That might have been the Clemson game again.
Yep.
Or no, that was an afternoon game.
It was a 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it was a 4 o'clock game. So there is some odd hype around Syracuse this year.
I think there's some buzz. I mean, I think some people were upset that they weren't ranked in the top 25 to start the season. I think legitimately some people had a strife about that.
I never.
Never.
Because it makes no sense for them to be ranked after the way they finished.
Sure.
Yeah, they went 6-7. Why are we ranking teams that went 6-7 last year and lost their starting running back, who was the reason they were that good to begin with? Like, anyone who thought Syracuse should have been ranked in the top 25 at the start of the year is drinking way too much orange Kool-Aid. Like, just way. I won't even say. They're drinking too much Cuse juice. When the Cuse juice was around, they've had a little bit too much of that.
The odds makers are on Syracuse side tonight, though.
Yeah, 3-point favorite on the road.
in Purdue at night.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's wild.
They like them.
Even last year,
Yeah.
when we started 6-0, if that Purdue game was at Purdue, we wouldn't have been a 3-point favorite.
No.
Purdue would have been favored by 4. I think Purdue was favored at the Dome. I think they were like a 4-point favorite. So there is some buzz. Vegas is liking the orange. A lot of us, quite frankly, are liking the orange. Personally, as a gambling man, I'm not touching this one.
Just sit back and enjoy.
I'm just going to sit back, watch the game, enjoy. Like, if we win, that's great. You know, with a 3-0 start for 2 consecutive years, looking to make it 4-0 again. All that fantastic. If they lose, I'm not going to be shocked.
That's how you downplay it. Yeah.
Well, because why would I be?
Right.
What has Syracuse football done
In the last 20 years.
outside of 2018, the magical Eric Dungy year where they win 10 games? Outside of that, in the last 20 years, what have they done to make me believe that they're a contender?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And the university feels the same way, and I said it at the start of the season. I'll say it all season. Until the university is less apathetic about the football team, I will be just as apathetic. Why should I care that much if clearly the university doesn't care that much?
I get it. Sure.
Plain and simple.
I would not be, won't be shocked.
Yeah, and so I won't be shocked if Purdue goes out and wins by 2 touchdowns.
Okay, now you're tailgating.
Well,
I wouldn't be shocked if Syracuse gets blown right off the field.
I
would know.
Nothing surprises me with the Syracuse team anymore.
Yeah.
Nothing. And I like the pieces. I do. I like Alford. I like Gadsden. I like LeQuinn Allen. I still don't love Schrader, but
you left out one there.
yeah, I still don't love Schrader. I know he's looked better passing the ball the first 2 weeks. Again, it was Colgate and Western Michigan. Let's see how he does against a real defense.
Didn't Dino sign an extension last year after the start?
Probably.
Start? So I'm like, because you start thinking, this guy's pretty much mediocre. What's going on here? Maybe pretend, but I'm pretty sure he's extended for at least another 3 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
They'll keep him around as long as they can win 6 games.
Sure.
Like, this team is just, let's get bowl eligible. That's the goal.
It's not a bad plan for some team. You want more out of your Syracuse is on a different level.
For some teams, it's not a bad plan.
Yeah.
For a team that, granted, it was 300 years ago, has won a national championship.
Yeah.
Like, legit, I know it was 1959, but they have won a national championship, have competed for them since.
Yep.
Had an undefeated season going into a huge bowl game, which they lost, but
like we're talking about AFL titles right
now. But it's just a fact.
Yep.
A national championship is a national championship.
And just Syracuse athletics as a whole. You want more out of a top program like a football program. You should expect
a
more.
Program that won a national championship last year in men's soccer. Has a basketball national championship. As a women's basketball team that was in the Final Four just a few years ago. A team that is constantly both lacrosse the lacrosse has 38 national titles between the two of them. It's every sport competes on a national championship level at least every once in a while.
Yep.
Except for the football team. It's been since Donovan McNabb was throwing to Marvin Harrison that this team had legitimate championship aspirations. The 10-win season in 2018 is fantastic. No one went into that thinking Eric Dungy is going to lead this team to the college football playoff. That was never the expectation. The expectation was be bowl eligible.
Yep.
And they were, and then some. And it was a fantastic season. It's just, I'm not going to care that much. I just can't do it.
I can't. You have too much other things right on your heart. You can't let
my heart has been broken too many times. The basketball team breaks my heart every single season.
I'm not going to let Syracuse football do it.
Exactly.
They're not going to get to me.
They're not going to get to me.
I have too many other things.
Until, like I said, the university cares.
Yep.
That's when I will start deeply caring. But I am excited. And it's
Sure.
gonna be a really fun time tonight. Make sure everyone tune in 7:30 p.m. on NBC. And it's not like listening to me is going to remind people like this town
Everyone
is
knows it.
this
Yep.
town has a buzz about it right now about this game tonight.
hmm
So it's going to be exciting. I'm going to watch every second of it. I'm actually going to be watching it here. I've got to produce the game for the Mets tonight,
Oh.
so it'll be on that TV right there. So I'll actually be watching it from this studio. And if you want to watch the game and listen to the Syracuse Mets game at the same time, I will also be providing updates, which will probably only involve Syracuse football for most of the night, as long as the game is going on.
hmm
So check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's hope Syracuse can start the season 3-0 once again. We're going to take a time out here. A lot of other things to talk about. I got the full high school football scoreboard from yesterday. We got games going on today. We'll talk about some of that. I want to talk about after the show today. I will be going to the OCC baseball field to check out. They've got a doubleheader scrimmage against LeMoyne. So recently turned Division I LeMoyne College,
Yep.
who we've talked to Scott Cassidy, awesome guy.
Coach.
But don't ask him about his one outing against the Baltimore Orioles.
He'll tell you every pitch he threw. And Damon should have caught
And
that ball.
Damon should have caught that gosh darn ball in center field. Let me
The
tell
can
you.
of corn.
Josh and I spent way too much time looking for this video.
It's
So-
impossible. He scrubbed it from the internet.
Yeah, Braylon, when we interviewed Scott Cassidy, he pitched in the major leagues for a number of years. And I saw that he pitched one game for my Boston Red Sox. So I asked him about it. I was like, Coach, what do you remember about that game? Everything.
He
He-
said his ERA. He
Yep.
said how many batters he faced.
Yep,
He, said,
he knew everything.
He got rocked.
Larry Bigby hit a fly ball deep into center field, but I'm telling you, Damon should have caught it. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I'll say hi to him. The reason I'm going is I was invited by OCC baseball head coach Bob Perino, who is the first guest I ever had on this show. My old Babe Ruth coach, fantastic guy. Same with Coach Cassidy. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to go down there after the show today. I'm going to hopefully grab a bunch of audio that we can play on the show next week. Have, really break down what's going on. This is obviously it's not baseball season for college teams, but
Yep.
they play fall ball. Every college team plays fall ball, and fall ball is just getting underway. So we're going to have a full breakdown of that next week after I go to the games this afternoon. But right now, we're going to take a timeout. Phone line's open the entirety of the show, 315-671-1260 if you want to chime in. That's 315-671-1260. You are listening to Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score.
Now They Law Firm presents Tap into the Most, Friday, September 29th at the Most in downtown Syracuse.
But yeah, that was so funny. It just knew. I think it was Larry Bigby too. He said was the battery said.
Speaking about Larry Bigby, they pull up a little immaculate grid.
Oh yeah, we can get the grid going.
Come by and check it real quick.
Or actually, I'll do it on this computer. Oh, it's all accolades.
God damn it, Mark's gonna kill it. All right, 3,000 hits in his career and 100 RBI season.
Well, I mean, there's
26 options.
yeah,
I assume they all did it.
pretty much.
So who's the weirdest
Hey,
one?
that's
Like
what-
Ernie Banks,
Robin Yount.
Robin Yount, or what about Robin Yount for Gold Glove in that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had 100 RBI in a season. Bang. 0.4.
Which
Gold
one?
gold glove, yeah.
Yep. Did Ernie Banks have 3,000 hits?
I want to say yes, but maybe
I'm
not.
trying to think of a couple of the old guys who I constantly see. It's like him, like Eddie Murray, Or
Eddie Murray.
Murray.
Yeah. Yeah, he's also in the 500 home run club.
Okay.
Hey, Jim, how we doing today?
What else? 30.
He has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must-try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floatin' On By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. We've got Jim in the Twitch chat. By the way, if you do want to watch the show, we do have a camera set up in here, and you can always check out our Twitch stream at twitch.tv/box_score_WSKO. Yes, I know it's a very long link and it's hard to say, but I've gotten very good at saying it.
Yeah.
You can check it out on Twitch or on the Score 1260 YouTube channel. You can hear us in the breaks, what we talk about. Like right now, we're doing some Immaculate Grid, that really fun baseball game. So you'll hear us, whatever we might be talking about, and you can ask us questions if you don't want to call in. Like we've got Jim in the chat asking, how big is tonight's Purdue game? Does a loss equal time for basketball season?
Wow, already writing off the football program. Depending on how bad, yes.
Depending on how bad the loss is, yes.
If it's a double-digit loss, pack it in.
It's time for basketball season. Yeah.
If it's a close game, they lose on the last drive or something, you could still be excited.
The team's got hope. Yeah. And then Army next week. If we lose to Army.
Well then, Jim, get out the old Mellow jersey. Let's start rocking it.
Pull out that Pearl jersey. We're gonna pack the dome for December 16th against Niagara. That's what we're looking forward to. It
is a rivalry.
It is. Hey, Paulus returns to the dome. We may or may not have talked to Greg last week. Hopefully, going to get him on the show around the time of that game. Very exciting. Very nice guy when I met him last week. Very, very nice guy. I'm excited to talk to him about everything going on with Niagara basketball and just what it was like growing up, playing for CBA and having the options he did. I mean, it's a choice that I don't think any of us would be able. Do you want to play quarterback in Notre Dame or point guard at Duke? I mean, talk about an impossible choice. So we're going to talk to him as that game inches closer. But yeah, it's like Josh, depending on how big the loss is, it might be time for.
But just like grab it out of the attic. Definitely get the jersey ready, Jim.
Yeah,
definitely be ready for it.
I'm not standby.
Yeah.
Maybe wear it when you're watching the game tonight.
Just underneath the
you got the McNabb jersey on top, and underneath you're wearing the Mellow jersey.
Yeah.
That might be the way to go about it. Did have some high school football go on yesterday, of course, Friday Night Lights here in Syracuse. Some big ones. Liverpool played at Henniger, and Liverpool big win 34-6. My Corcoran Cougars lost 28-6 to Horseheads.
Big boys down there in Horseheads.
The Syracuse is coming off like a 68-0 victory last week or something like that, and then they lose 28-6. All right, I guess
that's high school sports. I guess
it is high school sports, man. ESM beat PSLA at Fowler 47-24. Baldwinsville going down to Elmira. Actually, that's surprising. Oh wait, no. Corcoran beat Horseheads 28-6. Okay. Reading this now.
So you've messed up on all of them.
No, not all of them. I've got a printout here, and it's hard to tell what's in bold and what's not.
Yep.
That determines who won, is if the game is in bold and the final score is in bold. So, okay, that makes more sense.
They're weak down there.
Yeah.
They're weak in Horsehead.
Horsehead stinks. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, Corcoran beating Horseheads 28-6. Beeville beating Elmira 32-29. Apparently, Elmira's got to have a halfway decent program if they can compete with Beeville. I don't know too much about how Beeville's football program has been in the past few years, but Beeville's just good at every sport. they're always good at every sport. It's really annoying as someone who played in the same section as Beeville.
Yeah.
Because we always had to play that, volleyball. They were really good. There was a kid on their team, I'll never forget him, David Cirqua. He
Love
was
full names. I love
well,
full
no,
names.
because this kid was an absolute stud.
Okay.
So I played high school volleyball. I was a libero. And what the libero is, it's the guy in the back row wears a different colored jersey, never go in the front row. All you do is you're a defensive specialist. Normally, I'm 5'10". I'm not 6'2" with
Sure.
a 40-inch vertical. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be in the front row.
Yeah.
David Cirqua was all of 5'2".
Tell me this dude was spiking.
No, he was
Okay.
a libero as well.
He had hops on him like you'd never believe.
Well,
Yeah.
He was also the starting second baseman on the baseball team
Okay.
and the starting point guard on the basketball team. So kid was just a ridiculous athlete. If I say all of 5 foot, he was probably 5'5".
Mm-hmm.
And this kid was just unbelievable. It was poetry in motion watching him every single ball. He never had to worry about, their offense was just offense and defense, but their offense was just so well run that he never had to worry about not getting the first touch. It was just always in the perfect position. They could just read everything like a book. Unreal watching this dude play. He was because we graduated the same year, I believe, and he was first team All CNY. He was all state, I believe, as well. And then you just scroll down the list on Syracuse.com and see honorable mention and see my name. And it's like that's how it was. It was just he was just so much better than anyone else.
What did he play in college? You know where he went? Or what
I believe he played volleyball in college. I don't remember where for some reason Long Beach State is coming to me.
Long Beach State.
Yeah. I'm gonna look that
West
up.
Coast?
Yeah, California is really good.
Volleyball makes sense.
Yeah. Oh no, he went to St. John Fisher. Never mind.
Sunny Plains of Rochester, New York.
I thought he. I must be thinking of someone else. There was someone from around here that went on to play some sport at Long Beach State. I'm blanking on who it was. I got him in my mind for some reason, but yeah, he played at St. John Fisher. He's graduated now, but I mean, same thing. It ranks third all time in Division III history with 1,293 digs.
Wow.
Like third all
Every
time in
ball.
D3 hit every ball would go 284 digs in his senior season to go along with 65 assists. Ridiculous.
You got to get David on the show.
I should track
Reach
David
out
down.
Reach out to David.
I really should because he's always just been a monster. And his mom, Mary Jo, was actually the coach at Beeville. She was the volleyball coach. So son of a volleyball coach. And
That's why he played volleyball in college.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
But he was a menace. He was an absolute menace. You couldn't get anything by this guy.
That is a wild.
Yeah, seeing these third all time in digs in Division III.
What a great stat to have. We all have like when I was 17,
Yeah.
I struck out the side in the 8th inning.
Well, yeah, mine is I have the
Right.
mine is I have the lowest ERA in baseball history, and here we go, 2 1/3 innings in relief, shutout innings in relief against Baldwinsville. I struck this guy out.
So take that one, Dave.
Take that one, Cirqua. You were one of the 2 strikeouts I had in my varsity baseball career.
Boom.
Really good guy.
Sure.
He was always a good guy. I'm obviously just joking. I don't even. Oh, because we were talking about Baldwinsville's athletic programs.
Yep.
They're always good at everything. Always.
Okay.
And so, what I was saying is, Elmira to even compete with Beeville must have a pretty solid football program these days. Yeah, Jim was saying in chat his Oswego Buccaneers.
Yep.
They played Mexico, which is
right down the road.
yeah, right down the road. In county rival.
Yep.
66-0 Mexico.
Wow.
Oswego,
Wow.
not a great football school.
Great
Oswego.
hockey, probably, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah, they've got a solid hockey team. Actually, my senior year there, in the middle of COVID, the only thing going on was high school sports. So we actually, us WNYO sports guys, started calling Oswego high school hockey games. And I actually did a couple of those, man, behind the glass. And
So fun.
it was an absolute blast.
Yep.
But I just still know not even close to enough about hockey to.
That was a good pass down there, I think. It's like the Chance the Rapper SNL skit.
Yes,
Yeah.
I felt exactly like Chance the Rapper in that SNL
Such a
skit.
good skit.
Oh, it's one of the best. He's just the guy that knows nothing about hockey calling a hockey game. That was me. Bishop Ludden beat Lowville 38-29. Jim says the Oswego softball team used to be great years ago.
Okay.
There we go. I remember playing their baseball team in JV, I want to say. Yeah, we didn't play them in varsity, but in JV, we went up there and played them.
This is good. The more I do the show, Mark, the more I'm learning Central New York high school sports. And
Yeah.
I think that's what the show's all about. You know,
Yeah,
I
it-
learn with people.
Exactly. You are.
Baldwinville's is an absolute superpower.
Yeah.
Everywhere else is okay.
There's a few that are just always good at everything. Cicero North Syracuse.
Yep.
Always a monster at everything they do.
Blue blood.
Yes, very much a blue blood.
Yeah.
The North Stars. Baldwinsville's usually pretty good. West Jenny's good at a lot of things, specifically hockey. They're a hockey powerhouse.
All right, who's
Them-
the bad? Who's the bad? We got the goods.
Uh,
Or you don't want to be mean. That's
I don't want to be mean.
fine.
But there are certainly programs that have
Stay-
struggled in recent years. One of them, because I came through their program, is the Syracuse City School District.
Yeah.
In recent years have the Corcoran basketball team was good. I want to say it was 2 years ago. They made a run into the state tournament. They didn't win states, but they were in the tournament.
Well, come over to the YouTube and catch us in the break when Marky Hot Takes tells me who's the dumpster fire of Central New York sports for high school.
No.
No.
West Jenny lacrosse, that's another one. West Jenny lacrosse is
West Hill basketball.
West Hill basketball just coming off a state
Their
championship.
baseball's usually good, too.
Yeah, baseball team's usually pretty solid. Yeah, I know their coach, Teddy Clam. He's also been on the show, does a great job.
Great name.
Yeah, Teddy Clam. Pitching, he was drafted by the Pirates.
Was
I don't think he ever pitched in the big leagues, but spent quite a few years in the minors.
Okay.
Really good guy. It was funny. I ran into him because he did the interview by phone, and I hadn't seen him in face to face. I hadn't seen him in a number of years. And so I ran into him like a week after our interview.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Hey, coach, a good interview last week." And he goes, "Oh, did you listen?" I was like, "Coach, it's me, Mark." He's like, "Oh my God." I hadn't seen him since I was in high school. Oh, did you listen? Nope, it was me.
That would be.
But really, really good guy. And yeah, their baseball team's usually good. Basketball, like I said, they just won the state championship.
Yeah, you knew the kid. the
Yeah,
point guard,
yeah.
right?
Luke Gilmartin, their starting point guard, now at Cornell to play lacrosse. Because he's one of the most ridiculous high school athletes I've ever seen.
Jeez.
Really, he was the star of the lacrosse team. I think he went All-American last year. I could be wrong, but I think he was an All-American.
Mhm.
Starting point guard for a state championship winning lacrosse team. Led the soccer team in goals in his senior year. Had never played soccer before. He just joined the soccer team.
Natural.
Yeah, for fun. He led the team in goals. Because the previous 3 years, he was the number one on the golf team.
Just a freak
It's just a freak.
That's what you want your kid to be.
And he's like 5'10". Like,
Ugh.
him and I are like the same build. It's ridiculous. Well, he's a little more athletic than I am, but
Come on.
like similar
Nice.
body types, and it ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, so now he's gonna be a star on the Cornell lacrosse team. So yeah, the West Hill, CNS, Beeville, West Jenny, those are the four that Liverpool every once in a while will pop up. But those are the four that really every year
Okay.
they're competing for the sectional title in whatever sport they're in.
They recruit. Okay.
They probably do. It really, I know some of the some of the local religious schools have always done, like CBA, like actively recruits
Yep.
people.
But
Ludden does as well.
in Rochester, Aquinas Academy, who like they've had guys play in the bigs, whatever, like
Mhm.
the Joneses brothers, same thing. Like they
Yeah.
just poach from wherever you can go there,
Mhm.
wherever you live.
Yeah.
But it's just a religious school. They actively recruit. It's a wild thing to
Yeah.
think about high schoolers. Like you go to like a 9th grade, baseball team. They're like, you ever think about playing for Aquinas? And you're like,
What?
Who are you? Get away from my kid.
I know a buddy of mine, Lenny Smorrell, who we worked together at Bellevue.
Mhm.
He is 74 years old. He was on Coach Bob Southworth's first baseball team at Corcoran. And I played for Southie in his last year, so that just goes to show how long Southie's been there.
Mhm.
Or Southie was there, I should say. And so he was going to CBA, and he had played there for 2 years, and he was already, he was going into his junior year in high school.
Yep.
When Southie was like, "Hey, why don't you
You-
come on over to
You
Corcoran?"
approach him like the guy in Willy Wonka, and tell me.
But yeah, they just do that. High school coaches actively do recruit. I remember going to high school with a kid at Corcoran who, right before our sophomore year, just up and went to Ludden to play basketball. It's like, what?
Transfer portal.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
It's weird. You don't think of it with high school sports, but that is the case. And it wouldn't surprise me if, some of these other coaches were like, "Hey, I know you're in the JD district, but why don't you come play at Beeville? Come play for the Bees,
You
man.
get around that.
We can get around that. Yeah, well,
Just forge an address. Just forge your address.
well, they don't do that anymore because there was quite a few schools that got caught doing that
Ugh.
a few years back. So that
That's
they've
a
really
no-no.
cut down on that because that was happening a lot. That was a big problem like 20 years ago. Was just like, same thing. You're like,
Yeah.
you could play at Beeville if you want.
You can be in Liverpool.
And I know you live in Strathmore, but why don't you come play for Baldwinsville? Just write down this address. It's what? It's my sister's aunt's house. She's in a nursing home. Ridiculous stuff used to go on. So
Yep.
they did cut back on that, but now it's more so like you can just sort of go anywhere if you like pay. That's just the way it is now. So you see stuff like that, and you see these programs that get really good. And I'm excited. I'm gonna have to get Kenny Lacey Jr. on the show again pretty soon. He's one of the high school sports reporters for Syracuse.com. Does a great job. I talked to him right before the start of the spring season in the last school year. It was right in that transitional period between winter sports and spring sports. So we, talked about West Hill winning the state championship of basketball and then looking ahead to the spring season. So I'll have to get him on the show again pretty soon. That way we can break down really who is the best of the best in local high school sports this year. Going to take another time out here on Outside the Box Score. Come back, plenty more to talk about. And also, phone lines open the entirety of the show, 315-671-1260 if you want to chime in. That's 315-671-1260. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score.
Hey, look, honey, I got you a new favorite shirt.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wait, what's wrong with my old favorite shirt?
I got a great deal on a new residential trash pickup service and cut our bill, so hello, new.
I played D-line. I started at running back and then fullback. When I broke my ankle, they moved me to like O-line. Then they took me off the O-line. Then I just played.
You played with a broken ankle?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I missed
gotcha.
that whole year.
I was like, what? You were a freak ass. I'll just play through it, coach. Put me on the
Well,
line.
we didn't win any games that year, so it was like, then I come back and then we had this one kid who they just gave him the ball all the time anyway.
Yeah.
Not that anybody was mad because he was good, but it's like we still weren't any good.
Yeah, the district would be good at a lot if the best athletes played. like the Syracuse City School District, the best athletes at their sports
Yeah.
don't play on the school teams.
I see what you're saying now. Yeah,
They're
yeah.
a lot of them are either academically ineligible or just don't want to.
Like play house league stuff.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Well,
Travel.
yeah, no, not even.
Oh, they just don't play sports.
No, they play at Higher Onondaga Park,
I got you.
and you go down there, and it's like these kids would win a state championship.
Yep.
But none of them play on the team. It's wild.
I won. Tennis is a different game. I played varsity tennis for
Mhm.
4 years. And the different thing is there, like the East Side schools with the money, you can tell what kids had been playing tennis their whole lives and which kids picked up a racket in 8th grade and were like,
Yeah.
I like this, because you just get I mean, there's guys throwing out kick serves
Yeah.
in 11th grade, and I'm just like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
I won one doubles match at number one doubles. Right, I played number one doubles, of course, doubles. Couldn't move very well.
Yeah.
I was like, Coach, I'm good enough for singles. He's like, but Josh can't move. You got to play doubles. And I was like, all right.
Yeah,
He's a big guy too. He's like,
you got the racket skills, you don't have the
yeah,
mobility.
he's like, we just play doubles, and that's okay. He
Yeah.
was another big guy.
Yeah.
But we won one match, and I was like, damn, that felt good. Like my grandpa, I remember he's like, so on the paper, you guys won a match. I was like, that's right, Pops. I did it. One friggin'
We won
match.
one volleyball game
Oh,
when I played. Yeah.
it's tough.
Living Word Academy.
Ours was New York Mills. That's who we beat us.
Oh yeah, Utica area. Or no, I'm sorry. Living Word we beat when I was on JV. When I was on varsity, we beat Liverpool.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Liverpool, who wasn't great at volleyball.
And last I knew, they were playing 8-man now.
Oh really?
Yeah, I don't know. This was a few years ago. They were playing 8-man, and it was like them and like Lafayette. They had a whole little like league of like 8-man because none of the schools had enough kids to play.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. Josh just brought up during the break. Have you ever played pickleball?
My short answer, no. But my
Okay.
dad and my uncle have been playing as like last winter. They were doing it to like stay active, whatever.
Mhm.
They've been begging me to play, and I'm just like, I'm gonna dust you, old man. And they're like, no, you're not. They're like, there's no athletic. Like you're just playing pickleball. You don't need to be. And I'm like, I'm gonna kill you guys. I'm gonna dominate the floor at this easy game. And they're like, it's a lot. Like it's not that easy. Like you're not. Why do you think you're so much better? You haven't even played. I'm like, I just know.
You
I'm
also
very confident.
did play tennis.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I don't know how much
My
that
uncle
translates.
plays tennis at a pretty high level. He does.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then, my dad, they play ping pong constantly.
Oh,
with each
okay.
other. So I mean, they both have paddle skills as well. That's why they're like, what
Oh.
do you mean? Why do you say these things? They always want to go 2v2 against me and Burb.
Yeah.
And we're like, come on, old guys, take it. They're like, what are you doing? We're not that old. Two, you've never played. And I'm like, I don't want to embarrass you. But I do actually want to play pickleball. It sounds fun, but it could just be very boring.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have you ever played Braylon?
In gym in high school.
Really?
So
Okay.
long ago, I don't remember how to play.
But really, in high school, you guys had a pickleball unit?
Well, yeah, we did.
Really?
So do we. Yeah.
I think we did it a couple years.
Huh. Yeah, we didn't have stuff like that. Like we had units and stuff in gym, but it was like, we had the
Bishop Grimes curriculum.
yeah, we had the basketball unit, the football unit, which ran concurrently with the soccer unit for the people that didn't want to play football. They would just go and play soccer.
You had a football unit?
Yeah.
You guys. Whoa,
We would play
you guys
football.
Play football?
Yeah, we would play flag football for like a month and a half.
I think the most we did was like passing. Like we did like route running drills, basically.
Oh no,
It's
we
like,
would just
you ever played ultimate football? We played ultimate football where you
Oh.
it's pass.
yes,
can't
Yes.
run.
yeah.
Yep.
We played ultimate football. Jim says pickleball for tennis players that can't move or ping pong players that can move a little.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. You just described my athletic ability.
Good racket skills, played doubles. That's but yeah, we never did pickleball or anything. We would do floor hockey in the winter. Yeah,
Floor hockey.
floor hockey was
Loved it.
fun, wasn't it?
I used to play like street hockey. Did I tell you this?
No.
We used to play. So I couldn't rollerblade.
Yeah.
A lot of my other friends could, but that's why I was like, can't rollerblade. But we'd play like on our feet street
Yeah.
hockey. We bought nets, sticks, ball, the whole
Mhm.
nine. We just go to a parking lot and play.
Love that.
Really fun.
And how old were you when you were doing this?
Both far too young and old. We did it for a while. So it was like we started when I was in like 7th grade, maybe,
Mhm.
and I played like in college. Sometimes I go back and play.
No, that's great. Like stuff like that. There isn't enough stuff like that going on anymore.
Yeah.
Like I was talking the other day to somebody about just like playing pickup baseball.
Oh yeah.
How like when I was a kid, me and all my friends used to just grab our glove and our bat and grab a couple of baseballs and go down to the local little league field and just play pickup games. Like, all right, we got 8 guys today. No one can play right field. Try to hit it to left. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we would do that for hours. Just we'd show up at the field at 10 a.m. and show back up home for dinner.
My grandpa tells a similar story. That I don't have that as much.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
but we used to do stuff like that all the time as kids. And so but there isn't enough of that, like and then as we got older it was pick up basketball or we used to, me and a few friends, we used to go up to the turf at Corcoran and we would say we're going up to play football because essentially we were playing football, but it was more like ultimate football like you described, except we didn't use a football, we used a tennis ball.
Oh.
And we were all baseball players, so throwing a tennis ball is a lot easier for us than throwing a football. So we would just go up, and you have 2 steps once you catch the tennis ball. Then after you throw, you got to run down like a wide receiver.
Yep.
And we would just do that. We did that a lot in high school. That was a blast. Oh,
That sounds fun.
And it would be like 3-on-3. That was it. Because there's very little defense. All you can do is knock the ball out of the air.
Yeah.
You can't like touch a guy because you can only take 2 steps before you have to throw it again.
I love this. We came up with a game called Ultimate Soccer. So the same guys that played hockey, we would play. This dude had like a 50-yard football field striped in his backyard.
Yeah.
That his dad like loved to make for us to play on, whatever. And it was like those like bigger inflatable balls you can get from like a Walmart that's sitting in those like cages or whatever.
Rubber balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was with that ball. You could hold it, you could bounce it, but the only way you could score is with your feet or your head. But you could still dribble like a basketball or with your feet. It was an interesting game.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Yeah, that's what we play. Ultimate Soccer, a lot of that.
Yeah, that sounds a lot of fun. My mom just informed me my dad just bought a pickleball racket.
We're in.
We're in.
We're in.
I know some of my like uncles and some of my dad's friends and stuff have been begging him to get into pickleball.
Before we go live, 9:00, we'll be down the street. Come on, Raj is out. We're all going.
We're all playing pickleball.
We're playing pickleball.
We should take up pickleball.
I'll bring my dad's paddles next week.
Fastest growing sport in America, or
That's
so they
right.
claimed for like a week when they announced.
Ron and Brady brought in.
Yeah,
like, this is gonna be massive.
when they announced it was going to be aired on ESPN, and not a single soul has watched it. And whenever people see it on ESPN, they're just waiting for it to end so football can start.
The stands are packed. People go to these things.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, it's crazy. There's like a large crowd.
Jim's saying, wait a minute, a little outside the box score pickleball tournament?
You're in, Jim. Come on down.
Listen, if we could get enough people
Yes.
interested in having a full-on outside the box score pickleball tournament.
Gotta do it before the fall ends. We need
Yeah, we need
3 weeks away.
Hey, we can play. We can play indoor.
We could.
There are indoor courts around here.
Okay.
So we could do it indoors. Well,
We can set that up.
not me very seriously considering
We're gonna do
a
it.
pickleball tournament. I think we should do this.
We've never done a promotion.
We've
You
never
know
done a
it.
live event. We got to do a live event. I'm going to talk to my buddy Jordan Pollock,
Okay.
and I want to see if we can get a show at Myers Creek.
Oh, buddy.
Because they don't open until noon on Saturday. Or no, they open at 11 on Saturdays, I think.
Perfect.
So I want to see if we can do a broadcast live from Myers Creek.
Yep.
We'll have Jordan on the show. I've told him before he's got an open invitation to come on the show whenever he wants. And so I want to do that at some point.
You said where at?
Myers Creek Brewing Company.
Well, I've heard of that place.
Yeah.
They have like 8 different beers on tap. How many? Are
There are 16 different beers on
16.
tap at both of their locations, Casnovia and the Inner Harbor in Syracuse. The Casanova location, I call it the Palace. This place is fantastic.
Sounds like
It's their brewery. They've got indoor seating, outside seating, and like hybrid seating.
okay.
They have music there all the time. It's an absolutely fantastic location. So make sure you check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score. Jim asked, how long would it take to be decent at pickleball? 5 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you pick it up once you realize how hard that thing pops off the paddle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, once you get the speed down.
because you're not gonna be really spiking it as much. Like you can't
No.
once you're in that zone. Like
Yeah.
there's that little no hit. Like you can't volley in that zone, so it's not like you're spiking as much. I think it'd be pretty easy, Jim. I'm gonna be honest with you.
My dad has written in saying he'll clean all our clocks in pickleball.
He's never played.
He's never played. Well, I'll bring that.
Everyone's confidence in this sport is wild. Nobody could have even held the pickleball rag and been like, "I could dust you boys." I mean,
My dad, I'll give my dad a lot of credit. He's in really good shape, and and is quite athletic. I
sure.
think he'd be pretty good at pickleball.
I do, but that's wild.
We're dusting him.
That's I mean, take it easy.
Take it
Big
easy,
fella,
pops.
it's coming- I mean, it's crazy that there's a sport out there that because if you said like, yeah, I'm gonna go play ice hockey tomorrow, like nobody's like, I could dust you at ice hockey.
Yeah.
You're like, what? How are you gonna?
I've been playing
score?
hockey for 15 years. Like, you
Right.
can't just step on the ice and beat me.
Exactly. But someone's like, I play pickleball. You're like, all right, I'll play pickleball.
Yeah, I'll
Let's
play
see how this
pickleball,
guy
yeah.
plays pickleball. Yeah, I feel like the pros
I'll
can't.
clean all your clocks.
I love it. We should do it. I think we could get enough boys.
I think we could
I
get
think
an
we could
outside
do
the
it.
box.
Pat could come back.
Pat will come back
We'll
for the
do it.
pickleball.
Jim's coming out.
Yep.
You got your dad. I'll bring my dad, my uncle.
Yeah.
My uncle plays like tennis. He's at a club, the tennis club of Rochester.
Oh, okay.
And he like plays a lot of tennis. So he's traveled to Westchester for like tournaments, statewide tournaments and stuff. Yeah. That's amazing. I love the confidence for pickleball.
I know.
It's got to be. I'd love to just pick it up and not be able to hit it in. Just be like, this is insanely hard. Like after
Just
like 2
so
hits, you're like,
difficult.
Mark, this is really hard.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Got calling in on the phone lines. It's Bill, the FedEx guy. What's going on, Bill?
Not so much, Mark. How you doing?
Doing well, my friend. What's on our mind?
You just got me thinking about games that we invented when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to school at a different time where violence was kind of okay.
Okay, Bill. Where we going, Bill?
Fight Club. We had the cafeteria Fight Club every day. Yeah.
Well, what we had was a game affectionately called Pocket Ball.
Bop it ball?
Football, hockey, basketball.
Oh, okay. Careful saying that on the air, Jim or Bill, but
But yeah, it was one on however many people we had playing.
okay.
For all.
Free for all. Yep.
Checking was legal, tackling was legal.
What was the objective for the game? So what was the ball used?
Oh, you still had to make a basket.
Okay, gotcha.
So, but you used a basketball.
Yes.
Okay.
A regulation basketball hoop in the gym.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
it's just full tackle basketball. essentially.
Yeah, it was basketball with no chance of a foul ever being called.
Okay. It's like
When-
Dagestani basketball.
Yeah, we were watching. Or no, what was that one thing we were watching that was like that?
Pretty sure it's the Dagestani. It's how they play it. Like
Yeah.
Khabibs and stuff. It's just.
Oh
it's
yeah, it was
kinda what
that.
you're
Yeah,
describing. Yeah. But they play with a medicine ball.
yeah.
No, that was our big game, and it was brutal. Normally, the person who won the lunch period scored maybe 2 points.
All right, what are the scores? It's 2 to 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 to 0 to 0 to 0 to 0. All right, let's keep it going.
No, there was probably nobody. There was probably never a game where more than 3 people scored.
So
This is a great game.
So it's like Kill the Carrier
Yep.
meets tackle basketball meets
Yeah.
basketball where like if you had the ball, you had 4 guys trying to take you down while you were trying to score, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And then he also said it was combined with hockey, so I'm assuming this means if there's a hard tackle, the gloves come off and you just have an all-out brawl.
Yeah, most games ended in a fight.
This is fantastic. I love this sport. This is like
Somebody's feelings were getting hurt.
yeah, for sure. This is like Josh. You're how I'm. This is basketball ball. Oh, what's the objective? We just wail on each other. That's great, Bill. Anything else on your mind?
Not unless you can whip me up about a 6-prop parlay for today.
Well, you know what? We're gonna take another timeout. We'll look at the slate.
Yeah.
We'll see what we got for you, Bill. All right. We'll give a couple of picks.
I'm thinking Tyreek Hill over on yardage, Calvin Ripley over on yardage.
Okay.
I like the both of those to start. I mean, number's going to be pretty high, but I'd take both of those.
Yep.
And then just try to find a few more, throw like a $5, 8-9 leg parlay.
Yeah, I love it. We call that small number turn into big number. That's what we like to see.
Absolutely. Take my $5, turn it into 300 or 400.
For sure. Well, Bill, thanks for calling in. All right. Have a good rest of your weekend.
You too.
There he is, Bill, the FedEx guy, calling in. We do have to take one more time out, so we'll do that right now. Come back, wrap things up here on Outside the Box Score. If you're a fan of local craft beer, the only place you need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek. I did too, and that's why I was like, Bop It Ball? All right. Jim says, do we love Cuse -2.5 or just love -2.5? I'm not touching it, Jim. I can't do it. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek.
Suicide prevention starts with everyday heroes like you. Join us for the AFSP Greater Syracuse Walk on October 7th at Long Branch Park as we walk to fight suicide and raise awareness about mental health. Be a part of the movement, turning hope into action and create a
Jim says,
culture
if your
that's
father
smart about
dusts
mental
you, do you
health.
just
Funds
quit
raised
all
at the
sports
walk
and
will
retire?
benefit
I'd
Yes.
never play
American
pickleball
Foundation
again.
for
I'd
Suicide
never play
Prevention.
pickleball again.
I walk
Central
off
New
that
York
court
chapter.
and walk
To
right into the
register, visit
sunshine. Right into the sunshine.
afsp.org/Syracuse.
All right. We're wrapping up the show. Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. So I informed the people that my mom said that my dad recently bought a pickleball racket,
Yeah.
which I didn't say, by the way. He bought it for my mom to give him for Christmas, which is a thing my dad does often, and I love it. But he chimed in saying of Josh and I will quote, clean all your clocks. And here's the thing. Josh and I were discussing this random confidence people have in their pickleball ability.
Everyone thinks they're the best pickleball player alive.
And we're one of them.
Yeah.
And
I'm in it.
we
Yeah.
both think that. We're just like,
Yes.
no, you won't.
No.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah,
Have you
me.
ever seen me on the court?
Have you
I
ever
haven't,
seen-
but I'm sure that I'm going to do pretty well.
All right, so just All right, Dad. We'll see what happens. We'll get this outside the box score pickleball tournament going. You in, Braylon?
I'm in.
If Braylon's
We
in,
got
Josh
three.
is in, I'm in. That's all we need. We got Jim in the chat. He's in. We're gonna get everyone involved. Be on the lookout. Outside the box score
Yes.
pickleball tournament
Yes.
coming to a hard court near you. All right, that's gonna wrap up the show. Thank you everybody so much for listening. Thank you to Braylon. Thank you to Josh. We'll be back same time next week, 11 a.m. right here on the Score 1260. Peace.
Listen on radio, smart speakers, and our free mobile app, WSKO